guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I thought I'd tell you about my experience with the assessment day with Emirates. By the way, if you're new to my channel, my name's Christine. I was a flight attendant for Emirates Airline for 7 years. If there's any advice on here, it's completely based on my opinions and my experience. So don't take it as the answer to everything. Take it with a grain of salt, okay? All right, so without further ado, how did my application go? I applied while I was living in the Philippines. I had to go to an agency before I applied with Emirates. Hear that beautiful bird outside? Sounds like a little doll. Would be handy if it didn't happen right now. Because I was in the Philippines, I had to apply through an agency. It was called IPAMS at the time. I don't know if this company still hires for Emirates because the word on the street is that they don't. If you're in the Philippines, probably look it up on Google or give them a call. There were a lot of people applying, and then after you get through this stage, then you get invited to the assessment day. Now at this stage, I remember that I had to hand in my resume, and then I had to do a quick interview with one of the guys who was there. Gotta be honest with you, I think my interview was a little bit out of the ordinary because this is gonna sound really weird, but it was out of the ordinary. They asked me a few questions about job experience and what I was doing in the Philippines, and the truth was I was in the Philippines kind of like soul searching. I didn't have a career at the time. I had one before that, but when I was in the Philippines, I was doing a little bit of modeling. That time that I actually was applying to the agency, I had just been featured in FHM. You know FHM? FHM is for him magazine. Anyway, so I was in that, and I thought to myself at the time, like, do I tell them that I've been in this magazine because I know that Emirates Airline is a more conservative airline, or do I just not? When he asked me about my work experience and what I was there for, I had to tell him that because otherwise I had nothing else to tell him. So I said, yeah, I've done a little bit of modeling, and he goes, oh, okay, so what have you done recently? And I said, I was in a TV commercial, and just now passing, I just did a shoot for FHM. And he's like, right. I didn't know whether he liked that or not. And he was like, whoa, I'm a big fan of FHM. It kind of skewed the conversation into this. It became a lot more social rather than an interview. And then after that, he even said, hey, I've actually got a copy of the magazine. It's at my house though. Do you mind hanging around for 5 minutes after the interview? I'd love your autograph. And I was like, yeah. For me, I knew at the time, I was like, right, tick. And so the guy at the reception was like, yeah, I think you've got it. I think you're in. Awesome. So after that, I did get invited to the open day. I kind of feel like that had something to do with it. That was a very unusual kind of interview, I think. So I got to the assessment day. There was about 80 people there. A lot of us were quite nervous, and I remember just thinking to myself, just be friendly, just be cool, just be calm. Now, prior to my assessment day, my cousin was already working for the company. So she said to me, here are a couple of tips. You're gonna do some group exercises, contribute, but try not to be bossy and overtake the situation. Try not to be a know-it-all. And I thought, okay, that's perfect because I was so shy and timid to begin with anyway. What I was telling myself was like, be confident enough to be friendly and to speak and communicate. That was my mission. We got there, then we watched the Emirates video. And then after we watched the Emirates video, we were divided into 4 groups. So 4 groups of 20 in large circles. So in the circle, we had to introduce who we were, tell the people what our favorite movie was, and tell them what our favorite animal was. At this stage, I just thought I'm just gonna be cool. Like, this is a pretty easygoing exercise, so didn't really overthink it. Oh my God. Okay, so there were 2 people I ended up sort of making friends with. One was a girl who said that she had her braces removed just before the open day, and another person was a guy. Oh, he didn't even make it. Actually, he made it to the next session, but it was ironic because he was the one who told me to go and apply, and he didn't make it right away, but he did end up getting the job later down the track. So here we were in the circle, and then there were some people who were like super out there, and one of the people, they were asked like, what's your favorite movie? And they said, oh, my favorite movie is this movie. And then they said, why? She goes, oh, it's my favorite movie because they really demonstrate good teamwork and cooperation. And I was like, that's definitely not the reason that's your favorite movie. To be completely candid with you, I think some people wanted to truly impress the recruiters and really try to push the fact that they're really into teamwork and cooperation. In my opinion, in this situation, they just want to see how you interact. They don't need to know that you value teamwork, because that's not something that you can just say and let people believe you. It's something that you have to demonstrate through your behavior. That was kind of like a left field, that answer. A few people down the track, they were like, what's your favorite animal and what's your favorite movie? And this girl was like, hi everybody, my name is this, and my favorite animal is a cat because cats are sexy. You know, it was pretty full on. I don't know how else to say. I'm not the judge, you know, I'm not the judge, so I can't say whether it was good or bad. But me as the audience, I was like, yeah, it's a bit full on. Now, I don't really remember what the rest of the people's answers were, but it pretty much, the range of answers was like from here to like there. My answer was, okay, like, what's my favorite animal? The truth is, my favorite animal is a dog. Or at the time, it was a dog. Because I love dogs. I think they're friendly. They love to be around people. They're super friendly. They love to be around people, and they're just fun. And my favorite movie is Closer with Jude Law, Natalie Portman. And they said, why? Why is it? And I said, I think it's just so beautifully made, and like Jude Law. You know what I mean? Like Jude Law. But I think in the end, my answer was real, and in a way it was relatable. I think when you're giving an honest answer, it's relatable. You know what I mean? Like honesty is relatable. So long story short, after this, the girl who said that the cat is her favorite animal didn't make it through. The other girl who said that her favorite movie had something to do with teamwork and cooperation also didn't make it through. The girl who removed her braces did make it through. 2 of us are in, and I don't remember who else got it in the group. It was like half of the people were eliminated. So the next round was to, again, sit in a group, sit in 4 groups, and then the recruiters would give us like a scenario, and then we as a team have to solve that scenario. I don't remember my scenario perfectly, but I do have some details. My cousin who gave me the tips also said to me, like, this session is not about giving the right or wrong answer. This is about teamwork. So I knew that in my mind, right? And I also remembered in my mind, like, okay, I'm gonna participate, but I'm not gonna be the boss. Participate, be polite, be a team player, and that's it. That's my role. The scenario was something like this. Okay, we are opening a restaurant. It's gonna cater to 2 different types of people. There's gonna be singles, and we're gonna have cocktails for them, and then there's gonna be like families with children. What are you gonna be able to do to cater to all of these audiences who want different things? How are we gonna market it? It was something like that, like, how are we gonna lay out the restaurant? It was something like that. It was just a random scenario. The underlying message is like, here's a group of all different types of people, and we need to make all of them happy. What's the best way to make all of them happy? I know you can't make every single person happy, but how do you deal with the ones that you know may not be happy? Whatever. That's like my interpretation of the situation. That's what they want us to solve. I think we had 20 minutes to sort out this, to solve the problem. And then at the end of it, we needed to have one person who was going to present it. We had a few different things that we wanted to consider, like, okay, maybe we should make a playground. The playground should go outside, or is the playground going to be on the inside? Is it going to be blocked off? Is it going to be like this? But these are all like little minute details, like who cares, right? But the whole purpose was that we fit our solution within the 20-minute time frame that we had to work as a team to solve the problem. I actually don't remember what my answer was, but I do remember my participation was like, yes, I agree. I added to her answer. So if she said, let's build a playground, I'd say, yeah, awesome idea. Let's do a playground. And what do you think about putting it out here? So I was like asking for their opinions. I would like make the suggestion, and then I'd say to them, so what do you guys think? Always opening up the floor for participation. And then I also became the timekeeper. I was also the person who said, okay, let's make sure that we're on time, because if we think about this as an aircraft situation, like, the aircraft does not wait for you if you are doing your own thing. Like, the aircraft will leave on time with or without you. That's how I treated the situation. So I said, okay, we've got 5 minutes to go. And that was good. And then we had one person who presented the situation, and it was all good. I think in our group, I think we had 5 people and 3 of us got through. In my particular group, we were all pretty amicable. We got along pretty well. We spoke to each other really nicely, but only 3 of us got through out of 5. I don't remember why the others didn't make it through. Now, I just want to add to this. I've heard some other stories of people who've made it to this round, you know, the group activity, nearing the end of the assessment day. And one of my friends said, like, yeah, in their group, there was one person who couldn't, no one was listening to her. So she was like, guys, no. Yes, guys, no, listen to me. She got cut. Because like I said, think about this as a team environment. If you were in that team environment, is it more important for you to be heard and for you to get your piece and get it in there? Or is it more important for you to be there but also a supportive team member? Just on a side note, if you've been in the situation where you're like, all right, well, everyone I'm with is super loud and they're not letting me speak, how do I get a word in? Just think about it like this. There's always a way to get your piece in, and you don't really have to fight for it. You just have to ask for it. Ask nicely. So say, you might be like, yeah, I totally agree. Actually, if I may, you know, there's nothing wrong with saying like, if I may, I have this idea. What do you guys think? And I'll tell you what, I actually use that technique in my day-to-day life in my business. In so many situations in my work, like in my business, I work with teammates and I work with other people, and everyone's got, you know, their thoughts, their ideas, their opinions. And me, my personality type is kind of like to sit back, listen to what everyone has to say, and then speak at the end. And if I feel that what I have to say is going to steer the direction of the conversation, I'll say, sorry to interrupt, if I may, I've got an idea, what do you guys think? You know, feel free to do that, but you don't have to, guys, you know, it's a bit aggressive. Some cases call for it and maybe some cases not so much. If you're in an aircraft and you're responsible for safety and you need to perform a safety procedure and you need people's attention and you need to be loud and firm, then you got to do it. In a team environment, that particular situation calls for teamwork, not so much someone to be the boss of everyone. Leadership is a different thing, but that's a different topic. Okay, now, anyway, let's move on. So the next thing after that was English test. English is widely spoken in the country, but English is the second language. So what we had to do was we had to sit through an English test. It's nothing too rigorous. I think there were a few questions to answer, a few short questions to answer, and then at the end, one which allows you to write one paragraph. Now, if you're not a native English speaker, just think the whole purpose of this exercise is to understand whether you are going to be competent enough in your English speaking abilities to communicate to your crew members, to your workmates. It's not a test to make it harder for you, but it's just the purpose of the exercise is to assess how you're going to integrate your level of communication into the existing level of communication. So many jobs, including this one, relies on effective communication. So they have to gauge your ability to communicate ideas and experiences. So yeah, we just had to do that test. I remember my final answer for the English test. It asked us to tell a story of some sort. I don't remember the question which we had to answer for the paragraph, but I do remember my answer. My answer was I told them a story that happened in my life involving a friend, and then I ended it with the moral of the story, like what I learned from that situation. I think after that, that's when they tell you that you've made it. I don't recall whether we had any other final interviews. Do you know, like if you're crew or you're still freshly crew, like is there one more interview before you make it all the way in, or do you start doing your medicals? If you know, let me know, and then that way I can pay it forward and share on our behalf. So there's my experience for the open day. I hope it's helped. If you have any comments or questions, please pop them in the comment section down below. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, but do click on the notification, like get notified, like the ding button, so that you get notified when I make a video. Now, if you want to get some sort of like inside scoop written material from me, I've got an email link. Go to the link in the description box of this video where it's a link where you can opt in for email updates, because sometimes I don't have the opportunity to make a proper video, so I'll just write them out and email them to you. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye! I wonder if anyone's going to be awake to see this. Oh, it's so good to stretch. Oh, okay. Oh, lastly.